For those of you who don't know me, my name is Bob Parker. I'm the Channel Manager for Hemisphere Technologies. Hemisphere is the largest distributor of Kaspersky product in Australia and South Pacific. So that means we utilise our friends at CSW very well. And my compatriot here, Wayne, he's a pre-sales engineer for Kaspersky and is actually located here in Melbourne. Okay, a little bit about Kaspersky. It's founded by a chap by the name of Eugene Kaspersky, probably about 20-25 years ago. Today, Kaspersky employs about 2,500 people globally. But the interesting thing about that is that about a third of them are in R&D. So they're the guys with the propellers on their heads spinning it really hard, and they're thinking of ways of how to stop the hackers, the viruses, the malware, how to secure your network better, how to add more value to the AV product. Now you heard Brett talk about Adobe and about how they package up stuff. Kaspersky's doing that now too, that we can package up software and deliver it out to the network. It's going to make your life a lot easier. You also heard Brett talk about BYOD, talked about mobiles. How are you going to protect your mobile fleet, your tablets? How are you going to push out information to them? How are you going to push out new applications? Again, you don't think of an antivirus provider doing all that, but Kaspersky is. Today we provide protection to over 300 million users worldwide. So depending on how you measure it, we're either number 1 or number 2 globally. Now, like Andrew said, we've only been in the Australian market for probably the last three or so years, but haven't really focused on corporate for probably the last 2 years. So we've got a very small market share, but globally we are terrific. We are number 1 or 2. Gartner recognises that as well. If you want to have a look at the Gartner AV reports, we're up in the top right-hand corner where everybody else wants to be, which is terrific. The other thing is that other organisations recognise us as well, people like Microsoft, Blue Coat, Juniper, the list goes on and on. They actually license our software to put inside their hardware devices or within their software. Now, the other really terrific thing for customers based here in Melbourne is that the Kaspersky Labs support desk is located here in Melbourne. It's actually located in Docklands. So sometimes you might ring up there and you might actually get Wayne if we're a bit short-staffed. But it's 100% local support. So when they look out the window and say, geez, it's a great cold day outside today, they can actually see it. What I'd like to talk about now is just a little bit about the way viruses have come from and where they're going to. And Brett, I agree with you, the projector's not that flash, but anyway. Viruses probably started, I don't know, about 20 odd years ago. One of the first ones that I ever came across when I used to be a PC support person was the marijuana virus. And a lass called me up one day and said, oh, my PC's running a bit slow, a bit funny. So I wandered down there and I said, what does it say? She goes, oh, it comes up occasionally and says legalise marijuana. I said, how long has this been going on for? She goes, oh, 2-3 months. I said, why didn't you tell me earlier? She goes, oh, I just thought the PC was hacky. And that is actually a true story. So it's moved from boot sector viruses and stuff like that to more advanced ones where you've got your X's, you go to malware, social engineering, phishing. There's a whole gambit of them. But the scary thing is that it's moving from the volume's moving from 1 per day up to 1 per second. And this is phishing. This is malware. This is viruses themselves. So if you just look at the next graph, you can see, well, it talks about the rise of malware, and it literally is on a J curve, a hockey stick, and it's not backing off at all. So these are all the cyber criminals out there trying to get your banking details, trying to get infiltrate into your corporation, to try to get your customers' details, your customers' Visa card numbers, etc. like that. Earlier this year, in January, we had over 100 million malware examples in our library. We actually collect, viruses and malware and stuff like that to test, to see what's going on. I was having a conversation with somebody earlier today, and they said, "Oh, is there viruses out there for mobile devices? Your Apples, your Androids, your Windows, devices like this." And yes, there is. There is malicious programs out there, and we have in excess of 35,000 of them sitting in our library at Kaspersky. The new threats coming every day, and it's not going down, is 200,000. So it's real, it's out there, it's expanding. I don't envy your jobs as IT managers. So we look at some quick stats here. The number one target for cyber criminals is unpatched vulnerabilities in application code. So this is things like Microsoft, Internet Explorer, Chrome, Firefox, other applications that you run on your network. 62% of employees are mobile, and that's going to increase to something like 85%. So that's talking about people that are using laptops, smartphones, tablets, that work outside your four walls. They might be working from home, they might be working from another state, they might be working overseas, who knows. The other interesting fact is that 5 to 10% of all laptops will be lost or stolen during their useful lifespan. So what information is sitting on that laptop that you don't want to fall into the papers, your competitors, criminals, might have a whole lot of customers' names and Visa card numbers on there, who knows. So how do you protect that? And the last one is about employees doing BYOD devices. So at this point in time, we did a bit of a hand show before, and there's a number of people that are looking at BYOD, and it is a very useful way to do it because you get more productivity out of your staff members without having to make that investment. But how do you secure those devices? How do you make sure that if that person leaves, that they leave without all the corporate information on there and all the corporate applications? How do you protect those licenses? Wayne will address all those points as we go through. But from your perspective, it's complex. Like I said before, you've got to secure data from loss. You're going to have a hyper-mobile workforce. You've got to protect employee-owned devices. Got to enforce IT policies. Now, if we did if we looked at everybody's IT policies in the room today, they're all going to be slightly different. There's no two ones the same.
Mate, we'll just move it over there, mate. We'll move the sign over there, mate. Put it in the other corner. That's the way.
Thank you, Lloyd. So there'll be no two IT policies the same. So what this talks to is having a flexible platform in which to roll out your IT policies and also enforce them. App vulnerabilities or even rolling out applications. As Brett was saying before, do you want this patch to be applied to some of your applications? Yes or no? Do you want to test it out in your dev environment? Yes or no? So you can actually prioritise your applications and patching. And Wayne will talk more about that as well. So it's complex. So how do we address that? Kaspersky Endpoint Security for Business. As you probably gathered, we've been around in the globe for quite some time. Kaspersky Security for Business, or as we like to call it, KES for Business, is quite a mature product. It's actually up to version 10. So it's there, it's solid, and there's a couple of new exciting things in it that, such as MDM, software tools that can help you manage your network and licensing that's in it. But the good thing about it is that from one platform, from one console, and with one cost, you can manage all your AV and also a lot of your licenses and PCs as well. What I'd like to do now is hand across to Wayne. He'll take you through probably more of the technical side of things. Did you want questions at the start or at the end or during? At the end? Yeah. Okay. Thank you, people.
Hello, everyone. So as we're going with Kaspersky Endpoint Security for Business, I'm going to explain a little bit about the components and the features of these components that we have. So from our single platform, what we have is the basic anti-malware protection, mobile security, including endpoint protection, as well as mobile device management, data encryption to protect all your mobile laptops and workforce, endpoint control tools such as application control, device control, web control, and systems management, which includes all your patch management, image deployments, a real-time saver, that one is. And this is all controlled by our main security center console, so just one single console to control all the different aspects. So for the first time, you can actually see all your physical, virtual, mobile endpoints. You can control, configure and deploy software applications such as all your Adobe suites. Set and enforce all your IT policies, so you're not using multiple policies. Manage employee-owned devices such as your BYOD devices. Prioritize your patches when you want them to be released, how critical they are to your environment. License management, so licensing software third-party vendors. So this will allow you to track and maintain those licenses that you're using. And network admission control, so stop people from coming into your network and accessing your vital network data and information. So the foundation of our platform is our award-winning anti-malware technology, which has multi-point scanning, cloud-assisted, and it's all controlled from our main single platform. So the new exciting feature now is encryption. Encryption can come in three forms. We do full disk encryption, where you can encrypt an entire hard drive, and we'll tie this in with Active Directory single sign-on, so when the user first boots up the computer, they'll see a screen like it shows up there in the corner. They'll sign in with their Active Directory credentials, and then that's the only time they'll need to log in. It'll take them straight into Windows from then on. As well as this, we can do file and folder encryption, so we can encrypt files. You can send them by email or by USBs to the recipients, provide them with the access code, and then they can access the file from the other end. Otherwise, we can do removable drive encryption as well. These will all tie in with our policies, so they'll integrate with the application control, device control. So as soon as somebody plugs into a removable drive into one of your network computers, we can automatically encrypt those devices. And as well with the application controls, we can prevent applications having access to encrypted files on the network. And this is all transparent to the end user, whether they're on the network or off the network. So moving on to mobile security. Mobile security is set in two components. The mobile agent, which is actually installed on the mobile device, and the mobile device management, which allows the IT administrator to control basic settings like password requirements or using the advanced settings that's provided by the mobile endpoint. So 6 key features with our mobile security is configure and deploy. You can install, configure mobile devices from the Security Center console.